Right now at noon, police make multiple arrests following a shooting near La Follette High School earlier this week. And the Senate Judiciary Committee could be less than an hour away from confirming the Supreme Court nomination of Brett Kavanaugh.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 this noon on this Friday. We all made it. We'll get to those stories in a bit, but first let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast. It could be a little frosty out there.
It could be. I'm excited about that. I think a lot of folks are in terms of the mosquitoes going away out there. I saw a lot of those comments on Facebook. But nonetheless, yes, we are tracking some chilly temperatures that are going to be moving right on into south central Wisconsin. Right now it is 51 degrees outside. Winds out of the northwest at 9 miles per hour. And it's that northwesterly wind that's going to keep things getting a little bit cooler as we go through the next several hours. In fact, over the past 24 hours, we have cooled off about 14 degrees as opposed to where we were at this time yesterday. So that is the evidence of the front that did come on through. We zoom out across the upper Midwest, and you see a lot of temperatures that are in the upper 40s as you work your way just to the north and west. Brainerd at 47, Fargo, North Dakota at 43. 30s are just on the other side of that as well. So as we go through the rest of this afternoon, our temperatures probably will not move all that much, and being optimistic in how warm we can get, we do have a high of 55 for this afternoon. Tonight, that's when things get much cooler. We'll see those lows into the lower 30s, 34 here in Madison. A lot of folks will reach likely the upper 20s for those lows. And so as we get you towards Saturday morning, that is an alert day for the potential of that frost, Mark.
And maybe freeze up north.
And it could be a light freeze further to the north.
A little early for this.
It is a little bit early, oddly enough. We're early by about 2 weeks.
All right, well, that furnace is going to have to go on one of these days. I'm holding out.
Absolutely.
All right, Chris, thank you. We'll see you in a few minutes. Topping the news today, Madison police say they've arrested 3 people in connection with a shooting near La Follette High School. 21-year-old Dewan Briggs, 17-year-old Jamie J.C. Hayes, and a 16-year-old were arrested late last night. Police say Briggs brought a gun to what was supposed to be a prearranged fist fight Wednesday and shot a 16-year-old La Follette student. He is facing a charge of first-degree attempted homicide. Hayes also faces attempted homicide charges for being a party to the crime. Neither are students in the Madison Metropolitan School District. The 16-year-old suspect is a La Follette student and faces a charge of disorderly conduct. The victim was treated and released from the hospital. Madison School Board members and members of the community say police officers should stay in the city's high schools. An ad hoc committee spent more than a year reviewing the Educational Resource Officer program. Some parents complained officers in the hallways negatively affect students of color. That committee is unanimously recommending the district continue to keep officers in the city's 4 high schools. The full school board expected to consider that at its meeting on October 8th. And for the second day in a row, students at La Follette High School started their day by being waved down with metal detectors. But today, a group of parents met students at the door with donuts. It was their way of showing students that they care about them and their safety in light of this week's shooting near the school. The parents we spoke with say today was just a gesture, and they plan on taking action in the future, presenting other ways to keep students at the school safe, involved, and away from violence at upcoming board meetings. In other news, the Senate Judiciary Committee will vote in the next half hour on whether to confirm Judge Brett Kavanaugh. That vote is scheduled for 12:30 our time. Earlier this morning, committee chair and Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley denied a motion to subpoena more witnesses to testify before the committee. Among the possible Republican swing votes, Senator Jeff Flake of Arizona says that he will vote to support Kavanaugh. That leaves Maine Senator Susan Collins and Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski as the last undecided Republicans. The decision to vote today has not been affected by the American Bar Association's request to delay the confirmation process until the FBI can conduct a full background check. Judge Kavanaugh cited ABA clearances and background checks as evidence that he never sexually assaulted anyone. That organization now says the Senate Judiciary Committee should wait out of respect for due process under the law. Adding an FBI investigation would demonstrate the Supreme Court's commitment to follow the law over political motivations. If the Judiciary Committee approves Kavanaugh's nomination today, he could be confirmed as soon as next week. U.S. Representative Mark Pocan says that 83 people detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Wisconsin are just a fraction of the people ICE is tracking here in the state. Pocan met with officials from ICE following the agency's 4-day operation in the state earlier this week. He says ICE couldn't tell him how many agents are working in Wisconsin or his district or the names of the people that were detained. But he did say that ICE has a list of 250 people they are targeting in the state. Pocan says he'll continue to press the agency for more information on their operations in Wisconsin. Leaders in Dane County say next year's budget will include the single largest increase in mental health resources that they have ever seen. County Executive Joe Parisi announced a $320,000 expansion of the Emergency Mobile Mental Crisis Program yesterday. The 2019 budget will also include more funds to fight the opioid epidemic. Through August of this year, there were more than 200 heroin overdoses in the city of Madison, compared to 142 for all of 2017. The full budget should be introduced on Monday. We've got some cooler temperatures on the way, as Chris mentioned, but area farmers and corn mazes will probably take that over the heavy rains we saw last month. Schuster's Farm in Deerfield says as long as it stays dry, they'll expect some big crowds this weekend. But the large amount of rain this summer has had an effect on the corn crop and their haunted corn maze. They say the corn stalks should still be a lively green right now. Instead, they're already turning yellow and spindly. The wet fields also put them in a little behind schedule before they open for the season.
Things aren't getting done because they can't get done. It's put a lot more in the worry category because the crops are, the crops don't, it's just like you sit in the bathtub all day. You get all pruny. The pumpkins don't like to sit in water all day.
Schuster says the dry weather over the last week has helped, and they are looking forward to celebrating their 25th anniversary this weekend. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. I'm next. We'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If you're looking for a buzzworthy dessert, then you won't want to miss out on a German bee sting cake. You won't. As our salute to Oktoberfest wraps up, today we've got a traditional German dessert that is known as Bienenstich, which in English translates to bee sting. Legend has it that it got its name when the baker who created this honey glazed cake was stung by a bee that was attracted to its sweetness. And once you try it, you'll realize that bees aren't the only ones that are attracted to it. We start off by beating together some butter and sugar. Once it's creamy, we add in some honey, a couple of eggs, and a bit of vanilla. Now we gradually add in our dry ingredients and some milk until the batter is nice and smooth. This goes into a springform pan that we coated with cooking spray and lined with wax paper. We sprinkle it with a little flour and pour on a glaze that we made by simmering some butter, honey, vanilla, and almonds. After it bakes and cools, we'll cut it in half and fill it with a creamy custard that brings this all together. Just one whiff, and there's no wonder that it attracts bees, as well as anyone else who gets a peek at it. And talk about deliciously different. To get the easy step-by-step recipe, all you have to do is go to our website and look for bee sting cake, and you'll see what all the buzz is about. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a buzzworthy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. Still ahead on News 3 at noon. It's a cloudy Friday before some cold temperatures move in overnight. Meteorologist Chris Reese has your first alert forecast when we come back. Our call for action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issue. You can call our hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Well, there's a recall out for cars that are just starting to hit the road, and there are more signs the economy could be getting stronger. Diane King Hall has the latest business news in today's Money Watch.
Honda is issuing a recall of some newer model vehicles. The Japanese automaker is recalling more than 200,000 2018 Accords and 2019 Insight hybrids. The problem is malfunctioning software for the rear camera display. The car maker says there have been no reports of accidents or injuries. Consumer spending edged higher in August. According to the Commerce Department, personal spending inched up 0.3%. That is the weakest increase in 6 months. Keep in mind, spending is a closely watched metric because consumers make up about 2/3 of economic activity. JP Morgan Chase ranks highest in customer satisfaction based on a new J.D. Power banking survey. The bank bested PNC, which came in second this year. Chase came out on top thanks to high marks and convenience, strong checking and credit card options, and a seamless digital experience. And scrolling through Instagram might be hurting your bank account, especially if you're a millennial. Data released by mobile bank firm Vero Money shows 53% of millennials admit to buying something they saw advertised on social media. 41% of those surveyed say they have made a purchase to make themselves feel better about their own lives. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Diane, thank you. At the noon hour, the Dow Industrials up almost 29 points. The NASDAQ up 1 3/4. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee out of the radio barn today. So here are your egg numbers. Chris is here now with a look at the weather. He was walking the dogs last night. Still mosquitoes.
Still mosquitoes, but those days may be numbered as we go
fingers
towards
crossed.
tomorrow.
Swollen fingers crossed.
For a lot of folks. Now, I know northern Wisconsin has the best chance, but I think all of us get in on a little bit of frost tonight. So we do have an alert day into our forecast. That is for Saturday morning. That's where temperatures will likely be into the low 30s. Some folks to the north could see temperatures into the upper and even mid-20s. So you'll want to make sure that you are protecting any sensitive plants that you do have out there. Frost advisories are in effect here in Dane County, up towards Fond du Lac, and then back towards Viroqua. Pretty much the entire viewing area, except for some of our northern counties. That is where we have a freeze warning, and it's not just those two northern counties, but just about all of northern and northwestern Wisconsin up towards northern Illinois or northern Minnesota. They are going to be under that frost advisory. Temperatures up there are in the 40s right now. And I'm sorry, I meant the freeze warning for our friends up there, but that's where temperatures are in the 40s. They stay in the upper 40s through about Marshfield, and then lower 50s here right around Madison. In fact, here in Madison, that's where our temperature is 51 degrees. And we've been kept cool by a lot of the cloud cover that we do have in play. And then you have some smaller clouds, if you will, up to the north working their way to the south and east. That is all a part of a cold front that's moving to the south and east, drawing in some of that cooler air from the north and west. So we already have a strong northwesterly wind flow. That's what we're going to see through the next several hours. And then eventually that begins to relax. So when those winds relax and you get the calm winds and a clear night, that is the recipe for temperatures to go ahead and drop. So once the clouds clear and the winds die off, we'll see a lot of those temperatures falling into the low 30s. Some mid-20s will be possible, working your way towards the north. And then tomorrow, we don't really get out of the lower 50s for those highs. Here's why. We have a big dip in the jet stream. That's going to be allowing a lot of that cooler air to move in from Canada. Watch how Alaska warms up, and then you have more shots of cooler air that'll work our way down here, especially as we get you towards next weekend as well. That's the pattern that's going to be keeping things kind of on the up and down. So as we get you towards the start of next week, temperatures return towards the low 70s. By the next 10 days, we could have days that are struggling to get out of the 40s. But this will be nice to help a lot of those fall colors come into play, especially by mid to late October. That's when we'll really see things begin to peak right around here. But 55 degrees this afternoon, mostly cloudy, and it'll be a little bit breezy as well, so don't be surprised by that. Temperatures overnight will be on the cooler side, right around 34. Again, the farther north you are, the cooler it'll be. That's where some folks could see temperatures into the 20s. And then through the next 7 to 10 days, we'll stay kind of on the up and down with several rain chances to come in as well. In fact, Sunday through Monday, we could see an inch or two of rain around here.
All right, well, I got to dig out the sweaters.
Dig out the sweaters. I'm ready. I'm making chili this weekend. It's going to be fantastic.
You are looking forward to autumn, aren't you?
I am. It's a good time of the year.
Yeah,
it really
I
is.
love it. It's great.
So,
all right. Thank you, Chris.
my pleasure.
There's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, a self-driving car you can take on the highway is getting closer to reality. We'll take you behind the wheel when we get back. Well, the race is on to build self-driving cars, and automakers are getting closer to making it a reality. Kenneth Craig test drove a semi-autonomous car that's on showroom floors right now and has more from Detroit.
All right, here we go.
Cadillac's Super Cruise puts drivers on the road to the future.
Hands off the wheel.
Lead engineer Daryl Wilson says it is the first truly hands-free driver assistance program on the market.
There's cars on either side, there's traffic in front of me, and we're cruising at 64 miles an hour, and I'm not doing anything.
It only works on highways, but the technology steers, brakes, accelerates, and turns without any hands on the wheel.
We went out and mapped every road that we wanted Super Cruise to operate on with a vehicle that laser scanned the road.
Several automakers now offer some kind of driving assist.
When the steering wheel turns green,
But engineers consider the Super Cruise one of the most advanced, along with Tesla's autopilot. The system can control speed and make lane changes, but it also has suffered a series of high-profile accidents. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety looked at Tesla and other semi-autonomous vehicles and found these systems do increase safety, but only if drivers pay attention. Cadillac's Super Cruise has a built-in infrared camera to make sure drivers are doing just that.
This is flashing green. What does that mean?
Flashing green would mean you're not looking forward.
But CNET Roadshow editor-at-large Brian Cooley says the technology has a ways to go before cars can become fully autonomous.
It's not about more sensors, it's about data. And so that's where we get into vehicle-to-vehicle communications. We need cars to be able to tell each other where they are and where they're going in the next few milliseconds.
Cadillac is putting vehicle-to-vehicle technology in some cars, and in 2023 will offer a feature that notifies drivers of hazards down the road,
Work zone ahead,
helping them avoid a potential crash. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Detroit.
I'm not sure how comfortable I am with that.
I don't know either. I like driving too much to have someone else do it for me.
Yeah,
I'd just rather do it
absolutely.
myself.
Hire a driver.
I mean, I know, right?
All right, well, fall is coming. Fall is here, that's for sure.
Fall is here. We are seeing more and more of those fall temperatures showing up. Of course, tonight we're going to see that possibility of frost. It's about a week and a half to 2 weeks earlier than normal. Typically, that's right around October 11th, but that's coming September 28th for us. So we do have an alert day for Saturday morning. We'll see highs in the mid-50s through Saturday with rain on Sunday.
All right, everyone, enjoy your weekend. We'll see you back here Monday. News 3 at 4 as well.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.